What's up guys, it's Ark here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Heal Challenge. So, the Heal Challenge was a draft challenge similar to the Bandit Challenge or all of these mini challenges that came out like the Musketeer Challenge, the Prince Challenge, the Lottery Challenge. You know what I'm talking about. So it was draft challenge and we got one-time rewards as you progress, so it was like 8k gold, giant chest, 10 heals, 25k gold. Pretty good offers in my opinion, and they were free. So yeah, it's a pretty good thing for free-to-play players who know what they're doing. So luckily for me, I was able to get this in the first try. So let's claim our 100 heal spots. Nice. But before I get into the actual replays, I need to show you guys something. This glitch is literally game breaking. So let me find it real quick. Yep, this is the one. So I'll skip past the drafts because they're not that interesting here. Pretty straightforward stuff. Yeah, so I give him a thumbs up, but look at the Sparky. Let him drop the Sparky and I'll show you something that's actually stupid. So, I mean, clearly this guy isn't a very good player, but this is still something crazy. So, the barbs are coming. I think he drops the Sparky now. Yeah, so look at the Sparky. Oops. So the Sparky's coming in, you know, doing the Sparky things, charging up, being useless. The Sparky charges up. It hits the Goblin, and then it immediately hits the Dark Goblin without even charging. That is stupid. That needs to be fixed. Supercell, fix your game. Okay, that's enough of that. So moving on to the replays, I actually got like 2 losses pretty early on the challenge at like 5 wins. So I'm sorry about not recording the matches live. I didn't really want to tilt while recording. You know what I'm saying? So I'll show you some interesting replays that I had. So the first replay we'll be watching is this one right here against Xavier. So we start off with the minion horde because it counters the bowler obviously. Here we take the fireball because we don't want him to have a counter to our minion horde. Here we take the mini P.E.K.K.A because the heal didn't really look too useful in my opinion. And here we take a princess because obviously princess gets a lot of value in case my opponent doesn't have something like maybe longer arrows. So starting off, we just place our Dark Goblin to get some chip damage, usual stuff. He places G-Wiz. So I placed my minion horde instead of Valkyrie because I wanted to see if maybe my minion horde could get some chip damage or maybe bait out his arrows so I could play my princess. But he does place tornadoes, so I'll play it by him. And then starting off into his setting, he's slightly ahead in Elixir because I did play 5 Elixir to counter his 4. Then I play my princess for some chip damage which he counters with his log. I then fireball his musketeer, bringing it to a sliver of health. And then I counter his little push here with my goblins and mini P.E.K.K.A pretty effectively. With the raised Electro Wizard here, manages to kill my mini P.E.K.K.A and get a shot off on my tower. That was pretty good. Maybe that was a good utilization of the raid spell, even though it wasn't intentional. So starting off again, I don't have a real win condition in this deck, so my only way of winning is getting chip damage. That's what I do with my Dark Goblin. So it's a pretty slow-paced game. So he plays this bowler, which I will be able to counter with my minion horde. So I just play my princess in the back and then minion horde get his bowler before it can get any shots on my tower. He tries to place tornado, but the tornado does not do enough damage to the minions. So my minions are able to kill his bowler and his musketeer. So that's some insane value for that 5 elixir minion horde. And then he logs my princess. So here I'm thinking of going with a little Goblin Valkyrie push, and I was also thinking of raging them in case he doesn't play anything to counter, but he did counter them pretty well, so now I have to defend his little counter push, which I do with my Dark Goblin and my mini P.E.K.K.A. My mini P.E.K.K.A I think should die, but my Dark Goblin will get some chip damage, which is pretty good. He is forced to place Tornado, which doesn't work too well for him. And then I play my princess again immediately before he can cycle to his log. So my princess does get 2 shots off. And now Standard procedure, I play our minion horde again. He does consider playing his rocket there, but then he doesn't. And then I raise my minion horde to try and maybe get to his tower. That obviously would work out. So now I have to deal with the counter push. It's pretty easy, I guess, because the Dart Goblin is such a good card with its high DPS and range. Now he does log here, so I decide to play my minion horde as well, and then rage it all up. And my mini P.E.K.K.A does manage to kill his musketeer, but unfortunately the Electro Wizard's spawn zap does clean up my minions. So I play my Princess for chip. That is the way I'm going to win this game. And then I place my Valkyrie and Dark Goblin to defend. He does play his heal here. It was pretty useless in my opinion. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think the heal is a very good card. It's not going to be game breaking or anything. It might work out in a few decks. Here I rage up my mini P.E.K.K.A, which managed to get a shot off, and then Princess pulls it up. But as I was saying, what many people were saying that the rage is going to be OP, I don't agree with that. I think the rage is a very niche card. Maybe something like the heal, the heal spell is a very niche card, somewhat like the rage spell, and well, tornado is pretty OP. But yeah, I think rage is a good comparison, where it only works in very specific decks. So maybe something like a 3 Musketeer deck where you can heal up any fireball damage or something like that. But yeah, I don't think you'll see the spell very much. So my final replay will be the final battle of the challenge. So here I picked the Executioner because it counters minions of course, and Executioner did get buffed, so it's pretty strong. Now here, I would have liked to pick both of these cards because if I did get the Graveyard and Freeze, that would have been GG because it's such a strong combo. But of course, I picked the Freeze spell. I picked the Graveyard because Graveyard is OP in this draft mode because usually your opponent has a tough time countering it. So moving on, we picked the Goblin Barrel here because Goblin Barrel is something just like the Graveyard. And then I picked the Battle Ram because E-Barbs are trash. Don't use them unless they're like level 13 and your opponents are level 10. Maybe then they will work. My opponent does give me the heal spell here, so I mean, as I said before, the heal spell isn't that useful. But I do try and use it with my Goblin Barrel later in this game because Goblin Barrel and heal spell do work pretty well together. Actually, I don't know if I use it in this game or not. So yeah, here I go aggressive with my Battle Ram and my Graveyard, but he does counter them pretty effectively. So I use my Skeleton Army to counter his elite Barbarians, and then I'm pretty sure I let the minions get some chip damage. Not too worried about that. I think they get like, how much damage do minions do? Like 400, 500, something like that. Yeah, close to 500. This is a horrible Goblin Hut placement. He placed it too far ahead, meaning my Executioner can hit the goblins, spear goblins as well as the hut. But unfortunately I didn't place my Executioner far enough, otherwise it would have gotten the hut without having to cross the bridge, but that's fine. And then I Fireball, a pretty bad Fireball for me. He does try to predict my Skeleton Army with this log, but I didn't have Skeleton Army in hand, so I used my Battle Ram to counter the E-Barbs. The Battle Ram does work pretty well on defense because the Ram itself tanks a lot of hits, and then the Barbarians have some good DPS as well as health. So here I consider lightning the hut, but then I think I play my Skarmy to cycle to my Executioner. Yep, so I just play my Skarmy to cycle. And then, luckily for me, he places his minions in such a god-awful spot that my Executioner is able to snipe them and then snipe the Goblin Hut. And now I get ready with my Graveyard. And amazingly enough, he didn't have an immediate counter ready. And then my Graveyard gets some chip damage off, and then my Spear Goblins help clean up his Goblin. Not my Spear Goblins, my Goblin Barrel helps clean up his Goblin gang. So the Skeletons are able to get a ton of damage off. So I immediately go aggressive with my Battle Ram to get some pressure. I consider healing, but then I didn't because there was no point since his E-barb would have killed them anyways. So I just lighting the E-barbs to finish off the tower, and yeah, I just give him a thumbs up because at this point there's nothing we can do. Because E-barbs are not a good win condition. Win conditions can be hog, they can be bait, they can be balloon, they can be pretty much expo, siege, whatever you want, but not E-barbs, because E-barbs are trash. They got nerfed even though they weren't good. Now, yeah, this is just effective that. So I just play my graveyard defensively just to stall the game out, and that's GG. So enough of the replays, let's get into the chest opening. So this is the 12 wins draft challenge chest. I think it has half of what a grand challenge would, but I'm not gonna complain, it's free of course. So let's see what we get. We get 1100 gold, or 11,000 gold, I mean, that's awesome. 3 ice golems, not bad. Fireball, I don't think I'm gonna get a legendary from this, but one can hope. 5 heals, I'll take it. Furnace, not a big fan since it did get nerfed. Goblin Gang, Goblin Hut, another fan again. Musketeer, so no legendary from this, that's fine though. Wall Tower, Grand Skeleton, and so a pretty awful chest, but whatever, I'll take the gold. And well, that's gonna be it for the video guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you were able to get some tips for the heal challenge, and let me know in the comments if you are able to get the 12 wins. So I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.